Good evening, friends. Welcome to the virtual IPO roadshow of Infollion Research Services Limited. Incorporated in 2009, Infollion is leading player in B2B human cloud segment, specializing in tech-oriented marketplace. The company connects client with its curated, precise, and vetted subject matter expert through its proprietary technology stack and research capability. Infolio services top tier global management consultancy firms, private equity funds, and hedge funds, and many large corporates. Now, I would like to welcome Mr. Ashok Holani, Director at Holani Consultant Private Limited. They are the lead BRLM to the issue. Ashokji, welcome. Ashokji, you are on mute, please.
Thank you, Ashupalji. Thank you, friends. We are again come up with an interesting company in the SME space, Infollion Research Services Limited. The IPO of this company is about to open from 29th of May and will close on 31st of May. To understand about the IPO business, model of the company, financials, we have the complete management team with us today to understand all the investors about the queries in this particular IPO. So now I welcome Mr. Gaurav Munjal, Managing Director of Infolin Research Services, IIT Alumni. Welcome, Munjalji. Along with
Thank you,
Munjal,
Laliji.
along with
Thank you,
Munjal,
Laliji. A very big thanks to for running the entire show. You've been really helpful. Thank you, Vastupal, for the introduction to the company.
thank you, Gauravji. Now
You
I welcome Mr. Varun Khandelwal, VP Research and Marketing of the Infolin Research. He is a person who is still heading the company marketing and business initiatives since 13 years in this company. Welcome, Varunji.
Thank you so much.
And above all, I welcome the CFO of the company, the financial backbone of the company, Mr. Abhishek Jha, in this show.
Yeah, thank you, Ashok ji. Thank you, Vastupal ji. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
thank you. So, without wasting your precious time, I will request Gaurav ji to take over the mic and explain about the company and about the business model of this company to our esteemed investors joining in this show.
so
Over to Gaurav ji.
Yeah. So prior to Gaurav start the introduction, we would like to show one introductory video about the company that will give idea about the business of the company to the investors.
We live in an era driven by knowledge, and the world needs precision. Businesses are increasingly relying on actionable insights that drive decisions. And in this rapidly evolving landscape of information, Infollion is revolutionizing the way the world finds top talent. Be it consulting firms who are helping their clients solve critical business problems, or funds who are looking for deeper insights while making investment decisions. Expert interventions are the key. The astute guidance and discerning analysis of seasoned professionals are paramount in realizing optimal outcomes for any business. Operating as a B2B human cloud, Infollion Research Services is the trusted partner of management consulting firms, financial institutions, and corporates for on-demand access to seasoned experts. Experts who have been there, done that. Founded in 2009, we are the leading and most comprehensive homegrown expert network in India, with almost 60,000 domestic and international experts on our panel, spread across 50 plus industries. Our cutting-edge tech platform, robust compliance framework, and deep research capabilities fuel our pursuit of finding the right talent, or as we call it, the eye for the best fit. Our clients can hire experts for short one-on-one micro consultations, to day-long sit-ins, to week-long knowledge tours, to using a private expert panel for designing long-term strategies. We provide the flexibility they need, as they want it, whenever they want it. And that's not just it. We go the extra mile for our clients to provide them with a range of value-added services like industry value chain maps that are crafted and vetted by industry veterans. With the fusion of in-depth research and advanced visualization technologies, our groundbreaking value chain maps are redefining the way the world finds top talent. Our accomplished team understands each sector like none other. With our eye for the best fit, we have been meticulously curating and aggregating subject matter experts who can provide access to undocumented knowledge and deep insights. And that is a testament of our long-standing business relationships with our clients. With a healthy gross margin, consistent revenues and profit growth, robust free cash flows, and a ROCE of 40% over the last 3 years, we continue to grow sustainably. Furthermore, the human cloud industry, which falls under the gig economy, has undergone significant expansion in recent years. As per analysts' estimates, its value has increased from 82 billion in 2017 to 308 billion in 2020. The B2B human cloud surpassed $23 billion in value, demonstrating a substantial global impact as businesses continue to explore innovative and efficient ways to hire contingent workforce. Every major market like the USA, Japan, China, ASEAN, and Europe has at least one dominant marketplace for experts, and Infollion is poised to capture that white space in India. The success of our business is driven by the powerful network effects, where every new expert and client added drives incremental value that is disproportionate to our incremental inputs, and that results in a virtuous cycle of growth. With a low-cost structure and a mature global delivery model perfected in India, we are now expanding internationally in the US and Western Europe by implementing substantial technology enhancements, introducing new service offerings, and expanding our coverage in international markets. We aim to become the biggest paymasters of senior management talent in every geography we operate. Infollion, eye for the best fit.
Now I would like to welcome Gauravji to give the presentation about the company. Gauravji, over to you.
Thank you, Vastupal. Thank you for handing over the floor. So first things first, a very warm welcome to all our potential investors, our well-wishers, our friends who are joining this live session. Without wasting too much time, I'll jump right into the presentation. So this is a very quick overview about our company. Infollion is a marketplace for experts. So this one sentence describes Infollion in the simplest way. In a typical marketplace, we have suppliers on one side and buyers on the other. Infollion operates in a very similar way. We have experts who we have aggregated over the last 10 years and more, typically with 20 years plus of experience on one side of the marketplace, whom we make available on demand to our clients who seek such experts. So in one simple line, this is the business model. We are fairly tech oriented, highly tech enabled. We add a lot of value from a tech perspective to the entire matchmaking process. The core USP of any marketplace is how well do you know your suppliers and buyers, and how well can you match them. Coming to the traction, we do about 400 odd projects a month. We have almost 100 plus clients, more than 60,000 experts, 100 plus member team. We follow something what we call as a rule of 40. At least 40% revenue CAGR, at least 40% EBITDA CAGR, at least 40% PAT CAGR, at least 40% ROE, at least 40% ROC. So these are some of the rules which we follow. Although fortunately we have been able to record much better EBITDA and PAT growth over the last few years. But as you can see, in FY23 we did almost 35 crores of revenue, a EBITDA of almost 20% at 7 crores, and a PAT of almost 5.5 crores. To let you know a little bit more about the industry where we operate. So this industry is called gig economy. A lot of you would be very well aware. This caters to the hiring requirements of large companies or any company, which we also call as contingent work. Anything short of hiring, where you would like to engage an independent contractor or a part-time worker or an agency or some specific expert, is what we call as gig economy. The larger portion, the conventional portion of the conventional ancestor of the gig economy, is what we can call as the contingent workforce or even part-time workers. So staffing firms have been doing this for a long time. They're well established large players globally who get people on their roles and deploy them on client sites. Gig economy aims to completely rehash the way this industry is looked at. How we So this is not happening just in the uh, or what we call as inventory led models are being replaced by marketplace models in pretty much every segment of the industry, whether it is retail where marketplaces are replacing old offline large models, or even taxi companies being replaced by Ola, Uber, and such kind of marketplace oriented companies. We believe that contingent workforce eventually would be driven by marketplaces. The marketplaces are likely to become much, much larger than the conventional staffing companies in the near future. As you can see on your screen, it's a massive market both globally and in India. Contingent workforce is as high as 4.5 trillion market, out of which bulk of it is independent contractors who are engaged directly. Then there are statement of work workers where people are external agents are engaged on a specific statement of work. And then there are temp agencies, staffing agencies, and then comes the human cloud part. So this industry 10 years ago didn't exist, or it was a very minuscule number of the overall contingent workforce. As you can see, it has kind of exploded in the last 10 years, both B2C and a B2B, both B2C and B2B fronts. So the B2B part as of now is almost $23 billion globally, and pretty much entire staffing industry is ripe to be disrupted by newer marketplace models, primarily because of low inventory, or what you call as just in time inventory or on demand inventory. In our sense, inventory means experts, and that's how we define ourselves, as on demand experts. You get the expert when you need it. So this is the competitive landscape or our reading of the industry. On the x-axis, you can see the hourly price. On the y-axis, you can see the engagement duration of a typical engagement of a temp worker or a contingent worker. As you can see, a lot of staffing companies are represented in gray color, or the gray bubbles which you can see. Large companies like Questcorp, Adecco, Randstad, Teamlease, they provide very entry level workers for a few months duration. On the other extreme, you can see companies like ours who provide premium level talent for very short duration. And there are other bubbles in between. So small consulting firms, mid-tier consulting firms sometimes work remotely or on-site as well. As you can see on your screens, on the right side of the quadrant, or more specifically on the right top, There are lots and lots of functional and technical consulting firms who provide such services to their clients. In the orange ones, you can primarily see how marketplaces of freelancers in the tech world, of freelancers in the consulting world, or some very specific use cases are completely disrupting the classic staffing model. This is where we want to operate in the future as well. As of now, we operate in very low volume and very high margin or very high price models. And we eventually want to move towards slightly lower volume, but and also slightly lower value, or slightly higher volumes and slightly lower values. Moving to the next slide, this is how we operate. Marketplaces can be of various kinds. We define ourselves as a assisted and a curated marketplace. When I say assisted, the other forms are: how moderated is the marketplace? Is it a completely open marketplace where anyone can connect with everyone, or is it a marketplace where anyone can come and register and connect with their clients, with the marketplace taking a back seat and letting them interact on their own? Or else the other extreme, like us, is completely moderated with a curated supply. When I say moderated, it means that we help clients mine our marketplace in finding our experts, and we also help our experts use the marketplace to interact with the clients. We call this as the full stack model and a completely curated talent pool. Each each and every single of our every single expert of ours has been meticulously curated, contacted, identified, and onboarded onto our panel at a certain price. We sign an agreement with them at a certain hourly price. We add our take rate and then we bill it to the clients. We also assume some level of responsibility on the quality of our experts, which warrants the need of curation. Now, how do we provide access to our clients, to these experts? These are some of the engagement models. The easiest engagement model, and by far the most popular one, is short micro consultations, which is the bread and butter of the company for now, which we call as on-demand calls or on-demand engagements. They start at as low as 1 hour and go 1 hour of micro consultations to a few hours of consultations. Then we move on to about 7 to 8 hours of sit-ins. In sit-ins, it is a relatively longer engagement, sometimes on-site, but usually remote, where a particular industry or a segment or a sub-segment, or maybe a certain specific technical use case is completely explained from a 360, from various angles to the clients. Then we move on to a few day tours where we take our clients to on-ground experts. They interact with those experts over a period of few days, or they can hire certain experts for hours ranging from 20, 30 to as high as 100. For longer term engagements, that is something which we are still trying to enter into, which we define as a private expert panel. We already have done some engagements of this such sort, and also some specific statement of work employee services. So these are some of the engagement models ranging from 1 hour to a few hundred hours through which our clients can engage with our experts. Who are a typical set of clients? We primarily operate in a B2B manner. 3 large set of clients for us. The largest one is consulting firms who use our experts for deep insights into a domain. Our clients are themselves very able in terms of understanding a particular segment, but they do use senior management from or ex-senior management from other companies and independent consultants who have spent a lot of time in a particular industry, who have been there, done that for more than 20, 25 years, to gather deep insights into a particular segment. The second biggest set of clients for us is investment funds. They use our experts to know more about the companies in which they intend to invest or explore. So if you are evaluating a chemical sector or a pharma sector or anything of that sort, even after diligence, even after identifying particular companies, our clients use our experts for diligence. The third set of clients for us are corporates, primarily large-sized corporates only, who use our experts for various one-time events. A lot of things in the life cycle of a company happen only once, be it setting up of a new plant or optimization of a manufacturing or assembly line or some kind of a new drug development or any new project which they want to kickstart. These are the kind of use cases which corporates use our experts for. I'll skip this slide. This is kind of self-explanatory, but I'll just quickly move on to the next slide. This is how we acquire our clients. Uh, okay, so which industries do we work in? We work across industries. Over the last more than a decade, we have aggregated experts from pretty much every segment, subsegment under the sun, and but we have seen that there are about 4 sectors which give us more than half of our business, which are reflective of the Indian economy. As and when the Indian economy has been growing, we see some level of concentration in IT services, BFSI, CPG, and life sciences, which is clearly reflected in the kind of experts and projects that are being sought from us. So this is the size of a global talent pool. Almost 50,000 experts in India and more than 10,000 experts international. We have recently set up a US team as well. One of the primary reasons of this IPO was to expand into US and to an extent Western Europe. The further breakup of international experts is shown over here. Almost half of our experts from international markets are in Western Europe and US. We have a very strong team. Most of the top management has been with us for a very long time. At least 2 of them have actually started their careers with us. I would not be too wrong in saying that I spent my life, my pretty much entire professional life in this segment. When we started, barely anyone was aware what is a gig economy or what are on demand, etc. For the first 5-7 years, we just spent a lot of time just making the network to make sure that it pays rich dividends down the line. And this is a very strong board of directors of ours, professionally driven from various IITs, top management colleges. And this is our key management team, some of which you can see on the have joined us for the roadshow as well. So this is the overall staffing industry. There are various estimates. India's got a very large staffing industry, although not all of it is at the premium end. But we believe that we would be scraping the premium end of a lot of staffing firms in the coming few years. And we would be replacing and gathering a lot of market share from them. So this is what we describe as a B2B human cloud, the precise industry where we operate in as of now, where we have made a mark. We are probably one of the largest player in the country, besides the global ones. In terms of homegrown ones, we are the largest player, at least one of the largest player. Globally, we have seen that in every major market, there is one very large expert network, which has taken a lot of business or consolidated a lot of business from this expert network industry. Be it US Europe, Japan, China, Southeast, or even Latin America. After a certain network grows to a certain size, it starts consolidating the peripheral businesses or unorganized players into one large network. We hope we would be able to capture that white space in India. In US, there are three large networks, thousands of crores of revenue. In Europe, there are, of course, multi-hundred million dollar revenue firms who have been working in it, which we call as direct competitors. Indirectly, we also compete with flexi staffing firms or any kind of staffing manpower services firm, but primarily at the premium end of that. Moving to the last section of this presentation, beautiful slides, consistent growth in revenue, consistent growth in PAT, almost consistent margins everywhere, be it EBITDA, be it PAT. We have made sure that we follow very, very strict cash allocations, free cash flow generating, very strong ROE and ROCs. As you can see, we have averaged 40 plus for the last 3 years. Earnings per share have grown steadily. Our book value per share have grown steadily. More details on this are available in the RHP, and we will be happy to answer any questions after this presentation as well. This is a quick overview of the financials. As you can see, we have grown from just 2 crore PAT 3 years to almost 5.5 crores PAT in FY23. We have seen a very, very consistent growth over the last 5 years in terms of revenue, uh, in terms of EBITDA, and in terms of profits. But as you can also see that our percentages have been very strict as a part of total revenues, be it employee cost, be it consultancy expenses, or any other major cost. We have seen that all of them are consistent with our revenue growth. We do not try to run too ahead, but at the same time, we are aggressive enough to make sure that we get a very respectable growth rate. These are some very detailed numbers. Please feel free to go and check them in the RHP. Happy to take any answers on that. The final gist of the slide is that we have grown from almost 8.5 crores of assets to almost 18 crores of assets over the last 3 years. So we have very stable clients. Almost all, more than 80-85% of our business comes from clients who have been with us for more than 5 years. That also enables us to ride the growth of those clients. Our clients itself have been growing for almost 20% over the last few years, and we have managed to capture some part of that growth. Besides that, we have also managed to increase the market share in the country, at least in India, at the expense of global players. As of now, we're primarily focused on India. Most of our business comes from India. Very little business comes from outside, but that is something which we are heavily betting on to change in the coming few years. These are some more numbers which show you that we have been growing consistently, but at the same time, we are making sure that all our parameters and ratios remain consistent, within reach, sustainable, and we are able to generate free cash flows, or we are able to convert our profits into free cash flows every year at almost the same level. I think I moved on to an area which Mr. Holani would be able to better suggest, but the only highlight of this slide is that this is almost an entirely primary issue. The entire money which we are raising will be used to grow the company. The objects of the offer are as follows. We intend to expand into US and Western Europe. We intend to add few more categories of experts and probably use them for longer term engagements, which are slight. And one of the key things which we want to do is make our technology platform far more robust. We already have in the RHP as well as in our communications, we have included some details of a tech platform, how we add value to our clients, how do we map the value chains. We would be happy to showcase uh, in the RHP as well. Finally, a very big thanks to all our partners. Holani ji is already there. Uh, Kirin Advisors, Sunil ji and Vastupal ji, thank you so much for helping us out, and all our bankers. The registrar to the issue is Lincoln Time, and we would be open to details, open to Q&As, and or maybe I think Hulani ji would be able to tell you more about the offer. So over to you, Vastupal. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Holani ji, you would like to add anything on the offer? Please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Gauravji, for nicely explaining the company in detail to the investors. So, friends, here this is the Infollion Research Services. The IPO of this company will open on 29th of May and will close on 31st of May. Prior to that, our company and we have brought in certain quality investors as an anchor investor in our company. The anchor bidding will be starting on 26th May and will close on 26th May itself, in which the total structure of the IPO is in a different way, has been specified in all categories allowable as per SEBI guidelines. The total IPO size is 26 lakh 16,000 shares, which are bifurcated into four categories. First category is a QIB section, in which we are offering 12 lakh 8,000 shares to the investors. And out of this 12 lakh 8,000 shares, 7 lakh 24,800 shares have been reserved for the anchor investors. They will be bidding on 26th May, and the name of the anchor investors will be out for the public by 5 p.m. on 26th May 2023. Now we come on to the normal IPO for the general public. It will open on 29th May, in which the balance of the QIB after allocating the anchor investors, that is 4,400 shares, will be distributed among the normal QIBs who are not selected as anchor investors. The second category will be the HNI category or the NII category, in which we are offering up to 4,04,800 shares, and the retail category, in which we are offering 8,70,400 shares. And out of 8,70,400 shares, the per lot shall be 1,600 shares, and in which we are offering 544 lots for grabs at this particular IPO. And last not the least, the market maker. We have itself our Holani consultant is the market maker of this particular IPO. In this, statutorily 1,32,800 shares, primarily 5% of the IPO size, are reserved for bidding. So this is the IPO which we are coming up. The price band has been decided 80 to 82 rupees. At the lower end of the price band, that is 80 rupees, the issue size will be around 21 crores. And on the upper side of the IPO, that is 82 rupees, it will be 21.45 crores. The IPO will be listing on NSE Emerge, and tentative date for listing shall be 8th of June 2023. So friends, this is the particular structure of the IPO. And before going into the other details of the IPO, the foremost condition for any investor to know about this company is the valuation which we are coming up for investments. So friends, the price band of this IPO is 80 to 82 rupees, which has been decided looking after the past performance of the company, the growth opportunities available to the investors, and the requirement of the funds of the company. So it's a very hard time for us to decide up appropriate pricing so that company business cannot hamper due to the shortage of the funds. In addition to that, our investors also earn certain money in investing this particular company. As we know that this company is into new age business and growing rapidly since last 5 years down the line. The turnover has been increasing steadily from 16 crores in FY 2021 it has jumped down to 35 crores. And with the company objective of raising this money to set up the overseas segments in their vertical, to go into the US territory, to go into Europe territory, and with the networks which they have in India, they have 50,000 experts on their roll, around 12,000 international experts are on their panel. So we hope that in future also, with going to the international market, the company will come up with a super numbers. Also, the earnings at particular level are also very encouraging. From 2 crores profit in FY21, it has jumped down to 555.5 crores PAT in this particular financial year. EBITDA is also going on a very steady note. So, all looking at all these growth numbers, but still the company is coming at a very attractive valuation for its investors. The shares are offered at a price to earning ratio of just meager 10. Pre-issue is a 10 multiple, post-issue shall be the 14. So it is very attractive proposition has been kept by the company and the merchant bankers for you to invest in this particular company. So we hope, looking after the previous performance of the company and the very ambitious plans of going international market, this company will be a good stock to hold for a longer period by our investors. So going into the further details, I just want to go through the profit and loss account of the company to let you understand more important things about this company. So friends, just these particular things. The turnover 16 crore has gone up to 35 crores. EBITDA is also increasing from 2.71 crores to reach to 7.5 crores in FY23. Notably, it's funded by itself by the promoters and the replunging of the profits earned in the earlier years. Not a zero, no loan is this in company as of now. And looking out of the growth projections which the company has projected to us, they are also not inclined to raise any other further money in the form of debt in this company. So EBITDA and PAT, apart from income tax, there is no particular difference in this particular company. The company operates at zero asset inventory. When you see the balance sheet of this company, you will see that there are no assets in insignificant assets in this company. The company model is very unique, which we doesn't see in normal IPOs. The company is also very cash rich. As of now, around 7 crore cash and cash equivalents are available in this company. And along with this particular IPO, the company will be self sufficiently funded to appropriately launch their international operations and give more wealth to itself and to the investors joining this particular company. One of the investor, Bloom Ventures, invested in this company at a very zero stage in 2013. They are also part of this company journey. They are offloading a very little of their holding this company and retaining a part of their holding this company for a longer period of times. So in this, they are offloading their 50% stake, and the balance 50% stake are held by them for a longer period of time. The company, along with the super numbers, is ably guided by the professionals who are working into this particular company. Mr. Varun is also joining with this with us. Mr. Abhishek is also chartered accountant. We have a gamut of the professional in this particular company who are well qualified and have experience around 13 years, 12 years in this particular company. Mr. Abhay Sehgal, Garima Pathak, Varun, Ritika, all have a 10 years, 12 years experience in this particular segment. So company is ably managed by the good management, senior management. Plus the board of directors are highlight of this company. All three of the directors are IIT alumni, and the fourth director is also working in a very prestigious uh, digital payment company. so also add value to this particular company. So overall wise, be the management, be the promoters, be the numbers, be the growth plans, this company seems to be a very good bet for future investments. So I urge all of you to go to the RHP of this company, take the informed call, and invest if you like so. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Olani ji. So now we will start with the question and answer session. We have quite a few questions in the chat. So I'll just start with the questions. The first question is from Mr. Banu Rajawat. So company is planning to expansion of current services line in US and Western European region. What is the revenue split as of now and targets for FY24? Darvinder Singh from Business Services.
So this is covered in the presentation. As of now, we do about 7-8% of our business outside India. I don't think I have a exact bifurcation of various countries available handy, but this is the current distribution of this business. Now there is a slight issue in terms of recognition as well, that what do you organize. So if an international client is looking for Indian expert versus an Indian client looking for international experts, not all of it is the same. So only the money which is received from outside India is actually mentioned here.
Okay, thank you.
So single digit
Uh,
percentage is the summarized answer.
sure. Another question from Mr. Banu. What is PEX panel category and market size of this category?
So PEX panel is what we call as a private expert panel. So what this implies is a lot of companies need to consult with experts on a regular basis, maybe in different segments, but they may not have the wherewithal to hire them on a full-time basis. This is where a PEX panel plays the role. You can have experts giving you a 360-degree view of various functions or technicalities related to the operations of that company, and have them on board as regular consultants through us. We provide them the flexibility to get the relevant expert whenever they need it. At the same time, they may consult with the same expert on a regular basis.
Okay.
Since the business or these kind of engagements tend to be for longer, the volumes are much higher, although the margins tend to be a little lower. This is what the staffing industry or the premium end of the staffing industry or consulting firms do as of now. But we want to scrape off certain part of the premium end of that business for our
Okay.
operations.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank
please.
you.
Next.
Next question is from Mr. Abhishek Yadav. Hello, sir. Good evening. Could you please explain the products and services which Infollion offer? I think we have covered this in detail in our
Yes, we'll have to
presentation.
redo the presentation again for this.
Yeah. So if you want to give some summarized short answer, that would be
Yes,
helpful.
so it's a very simple business model, Abhishek. We have experts on one side whom we call as domain experts. We have clients on the other side. Our job is to connect both of them in with the least possible friction and the best possible match.
Thank, thank you.
It's a very simple service. We give on-demand experts. Yeah.
Uh, so next question is from Miss Rucha. So she's asking, I wanted to ask that there are any notable collaboration or partnership that have had significant impact on Infolio business.
Okay, I'm not sure collaborations or partnerships mean clients. So we do have very regular clients, if that's what you mean. But if you imply that collaborations or partnerships with other firms, no, we are a standalone firm. We have spent a very long time in setting up this network, and now is the time to reap the benefits.
Okay. Uh, Next question is from Atharya. Could you please explain the revenue model of the company? What are the revenue drivers of the company?
Okay. So a revenue model, fairly simple. We negotiate a particular price with experts on an hourly basis. Whenever we get a project in a certain segment, through our own analytics, our value chain maps, we figure out the most relevant experts, share it with the client that this particular expert is available at this price. There may be 5, maybe 10 experts available at certain pricing. They're shared with the client along with their details, along with their ratings, along with their whatever data we have been able to capture from their past engagements or their past proposed engagements. The client chooses one particular expert for the engagement, and we set up the engagement after that. After the completion of the engagement, which could be of a few hours, the price at which the expert registered with us is paid to the expert. Then we add our take rate, which is reflective in the gross margin, and bill to the client. So that's a core revenue model. Revenue drivers, of course, it's a very long question. I would like to use this opportunity to address that. So revenue drivers, I'll give some more flavor in terms of background. So we define what we call as a PE to CE ratio. PE means pre-empaneled experts. CE means custom empaneled experts. When we get a project, we can service the project either through the experts already available with us, or in some cases, we need to go out and empanel those experts for that specific project. Custom empanelments is a very costly affair, is more useful in the longer term, but pre-empaneled experts are the ones which help us make money. We earn far more margins in pre-empaneled experts, although custom empanelment is a critical part of our growth story. So the more smartly we can do custom empanelments, the more precise we can mine our own database in terms of pre-empaneled experts, is the most important revenue driver of this company. Or for that matter, any marketplace business model. That's exactly the beauty of this business model, that the model itself compounds. Every project we do a custom empanelment, for the next project, it becomes a pre-empaneled expert. So every year, if we add 10% of the experts, not only do we do more custom empaneled engagements, the volume of the pre-empaneled engagements also increase. This is why you see a very steady and stable increase in the overall revenues. So to summarize, how smartly you can do custom empanelments with minimum investments, how can you choose those experts to empanel on a custom basis, and at the same time, how well can you manage your pre-empaneled experts is the key to this business. As of now, we believe we have one of the best ratios, if not the best ratio of PE to CE experts in the industry.
Okay.
And I, okay. Yes,
Yeah, please,
yes,
please
please
go ahead.
go ahead.
Please go ahead.
I hope I answered the question. Happy to move on to the next one.
Yeah, thank you. Next question is from Mr. Vijay Raka. So, wanted to know, are there any barriers to entry or factors that protect influence market position?
That's a very interesting question, actually. So, I assume this question relates to the the moat of the company.
Correct.
First 5 to 7 years, you have to build the expert network. You have to know more and more about each expert of yours. Once you have done that, any peer trying to enter the network is a it makes it very difficult for any competitor to enter, because the incremental cost of servicing a project from a pre-empaneled expert is practically zero, maybe a few single digit percentage of the gross margin. But for a newer person or a newer competitor, they have to do those custom empanelments. While they may end up having a similar payout ratio, but the cost of getting the expert is incomparable. So once you set up the network, more and more experts try to use that network, and more clients try to use those experts, and all the peripheral experts and clients start consolidating and uh, precipitating into that platform. This provides a very strong moat. The bigger the network, the bigger it grows, and the smaller networks are completely squeezed out. So this is the exact beauty of this business model, that network effects kick in after a certain size.
Okay. Thank you. Next question is from Mrs. Srinivas. How is this business model work? Is this based on revenue sharing model between consulting staff and Infollion? I think we have covered it.
We have covered that. So yes is the quick answer. There is a take rate. Yes. Next question,
Okay.
please.
So next question is from Mr. Arun Gupta. The media industry runs on the talent of freelancers over 100 years, but both buyers and suppliers offer limited repeat business. I
Okay,
don't.
so yes, then I would say marketplaces are one of the best answers to this. There is probably a marketplace of freelancers in the media industry already trying to disrupt that market. But I think that it's more of a supply to demand issue. The supply of freelancers in content is far more, and probably not at the premium end. And that could probably be the reason for lack of repeat business. But I think I am not the right person to answer that question. I can answer for my business that undocumented knowledge is what we start with. When our clients come to the engagements, they're fairly well prepared. And that's the reason we are able to use at the premium end of the business and command the pricing.
Okay, thank you. Next question is from Anandi Mittal. So, what is the composition of sectors served by Infollion, and what portion of your comes from manufacturing and financial services?
I think you already answered. Primarily 50-60% of the business come from four segments, which are reflective of the Indian economy: IT services or IT in general, BFSI, uh, life sciences, healthcare, pharma, etc. And the fourth one is CPG, consumer goods, FMCG, etc. This gives us almost half to two-thirds of our business. Manufacturing, we have seen some sprinkling, but it's not a very large segment for us.
Okay. Next question is from Ms. Dev Kumari. So, what is the geographic?
Primarily India. I'll just quickly read through. Primarily India. We're trying to expand to US and
Yeah.
Western Europe.
So, next question is from Mr. Gaurav Mehta. Like factors contributed to the significant increase in domestic sales for from FY 21 to 23.
So we have seen not just from FY 21 to 23, we have seen a very consistent growth in sales as well as PAT, fairly stable in terms of percentages. What we believe is that our clients have grown at almost 25-30%. We have been able to capture that market, and we have also grown at the expense of global clients operating in global networks operating in India, and we have expanded our market share.
Okay. So how is your business different from competition, especially the freelancer websites?
So I already showed this in the competitive landscape. Fundamentally, the freelancer websites, the staffing companies, the manpower service companies, the consulting companies, and Infollion all work in the contingent staffing space. It's more about positioning. We position ourselves at the premium end, which is very high value but very low volumes or short consultations. Freelancers are they typically operate. Most of the freelancer websites typically operate in $5 to $10, which is about 400 500 rupees an hour kind of setup for a few hours, which is 30 to 40 hours. We are at the extreme in terms of pricing because we have very senior experts which are curated.
Okay.
So
Uh,
curated versus open could be a one line difference.
Correct. So next question is from FinTech Adda. Kindly throw light on revenue model. I think we covered.
We've
What
already
is
covered
average
that.
engagement period with the client? Second part, I think we haven't covered.
What
So
is the
what is the
average
average?
engagement period?
Yeah.
So I would not say
Is-
period, but typically we average around 40 to 50,000 per engagement.
Okay. Okay.
But we do
Uh,
mostly micro consultations. They are short engagements.
okay. So next question is from Anurag Saha. Uh, does the company have the roadmap for future technology advancements and feature enhancements?
Yes, very much. Personally, this is a topic very close to me, and of course to Varun, who's already here. Varun, would you like to share a few words on that?
Sure, sure, Gaurav. So, thanks, Anurag, for asking this. So, our funda is very simple. We're trying to incorporate a lot of, like, leveraging a lot of technology in terms of being able to manage our increasingly growing network of experts, and obviously allowing our clients and our stakeholders to leverage technology to go about finding the right set of experts through SaaS tools and other technologies. So we have come up with a groundbreaking product called Industry Value Chain Maps, wherein what we're trying to do is we're trying to leverage data visualization technologies and showcase our industry experts on a value chain which kind of represents how this industry works, what are the kind of stakeholders are involved in this industry, what are the different divisions or departments in that exist in companies within that industry, and what kind of talent pool we have within those departments and divisions, right from the top management to as granular as the sales team or the procurement team. And we also try to encompass the entire value chain by also including the kind of vendors these people are working with, and the clients these people are working at. So who are they dependent on, who depend on them, and what is the structure of the people within this industry and how they work. So this is something that we've been doing for a while now, and our clients have started using this in a beta form, and we've received absolutely encouraging responses here. And this is probably one of the edge that that we'll have and maintain in the next few years to come.
And just to add a quick line, we believe that we are also aiming a lot to turbocharge our productivity and efficiency through a lot of automation. These two things are fundamentally critical to our future business, and we would be investing our time and money on this a lot more in the years to come. Yes, next, please.
So when IPO is coming, we have already covered. Uh, IPO is coming on 29th of May. Next question is, can you discuss the Infollion competitive landscape with the gig economy? How does the company
Slide
differentiate
number
its.
4 explains everything.
So, so I'll just quickly give the slide number 4.
So we can just have a look. I think we'll be sharing the presentations. We've already spent a lot of time on this. Slide
Sure,
number
sure,
5, sorry, 4, 3 or 5. The comparative, next slide, please.
yeah,
This one. So,
sure.
so I've already explained this. So this is the overall staffing landscape. I've already spent some time. You can probably go back to the previous
Recording,
at
yeah,
roughly
link,
around
link.
8 to 10 minute mark, and you can have a look at the complete detailed explanation
Sure.
of this.
So technology we have already covered. Which industry? Yes, this is also we have
So
covered.
we have covered.
Uh,
So I can see a lot of questions. Vastupal, we will probably need to combine them at some point of
correct,
time.
correct. So what are the key factors driving company's expansion in the new region? So what will be the expansion driving the expansion in the new regions?
Okay, this is an interesting one. So first things first, we would be setting up our own expert networks. We have already have a small team of about 15 odd member size operating on US timings from India. We intend to expand that team, build the network from there. What we believe is that about 5,000 to 7,000 experts per geo per industry is where you reach a steady state PE to CE ratio, and that's what we intend to do in the next 2 3 years. First, we would make up the bring make the network larger and larger, and then try to utilize those networks as far as possible. We have already started giving out these experts to global clients, and a lot of Indian clients are also looking out for global experts. So these two are being our primarily the strategies. We would also do B2B sales in US markets.
Sure. Uh, so further continuing on the vision part for next 5 to 10 years in the strategy direction.
We just want to grow as it is. We are happy the way we have grown sustainably. We have added a lot of free cash flows. We want to be very strict on capital allocations. Uh, we would grow as sustainably as possible with similar numbers is what we aim for. Strategically, we want to be one of the largest paymasters of senior level talent and have as many senior industry professionals on our panel as possible.
Sure. So next question on market share capturing on Indian domestic market. So
So
how?
I've already kind of explained this, so we can skip it.
Sure. How does the company mitigate risk and maintain a competitive advantage?
So 2 points. We have all our engagements are moderated. Every single engagement, there is a person who would make sure that there are no compliance issues on either side. Competitive advantage, we believe that we've already built up a lot of competitive advantage in terms of tech capabilities as well as the size of the network in India. We have a very strong moat. It's very difficult to get into this market, or rather I would say it's relatively easy to start a business of this sort. But after a few thousand experts, this becomes a tech and research business where we have which is a bridge which we have crossed, and I think we have built up a very strong competitive advantage. Now it's time to harness that advantage and get more and more experts and clients so that we are able to emerge as a single largest player.
Okay. Okay. Next question is from Prem Javeri. So, how does Infollion ensure the confidentiality and security of client information and sensitive data when engaging with the subject expert?
I just answered to an extent that all the engagements are moderated, but there is a very strict compliance framework which we have. For every expert who comes in, there are notes, the offline topics, the offline companies which they are not allowed to talk about. And similarly, each and every expert goes through a detailed tutorial and signs an agreement with us about confidentiality. And on to top it all, there are third party rights for our clients as well in that engagement, in that agreement.
Okay. So, next question is related to finance. What is the CFO by EBITDA conser- conversation for last 2 years?
Perfect. So I think it's the right time for Abhishek to jump in.
Yeah. So CFO to EBITDA conversion was quite good actually. This cash flow from operations have been consistent for last 5 7 years, and yeah, we have been reporting positive cash flows, and CFO to EBITDA ratios have been little inconsistent, but always a positive kind of cash flow from operations. So calculation would take some time, but yeah, always we always had a positive cash flow
So I
from
don't think it is
operations.
quite poor. I remember it being a pretty good number. I think it's
Yeah,
somewhere around 35 40%, which is much better than most companies from what I
and
understand.
sometimes even more.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think the calculation might be some off. Uh,
The
next,
calculation needs to be off. We have a very healthy
Yeah,
yeah,
FCF to FCF conversion. I mean, uh,
yeah.
correct.
one of the
Uh,
highest in the listed market, if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
sure. The next question is: are there any major investments or debt that could impact company's financial health? So straight is no. I think if you like to add anything, Abhishek or Boroji.
So we do not have any debts planned for now. We might use some working capital, but that's not really a material number. Major investments, we would be expanding into US. Of course, new markets are always come with new risks, but that's the precise thing of a business. You have to grow.
Sure,
We have already disclosed the investment which are supposed to be done over the next 3 years.
sure. Next question is on the enhancement in research and development initiative.
I
Was
think Varun covered it very well.
already covered it, yes. Uh, so, what is the company's approach to customer acquisition and retention?
So our 80+% of the business come from experts from clients which are 5 years and more with us. Customer acquisition, it's primarily B2B sales for now. Although we during COVID we have seen a lot of inbound leads uh, coming in from corporates. So the biggest change we have seen over the last 2 3 years is that we have seen corporates coming up to us and asking for experts because they've become far more used to remote and on-demand work. Also, probably because the supply side have also increased.
Done.
Yes, next please.
Yeah. So next question is, how do we see risk of expert directly meeting client or vice versa? How do we mitigate the same?
So of course, the agreement covers all that. Both sides, we sign a agreement with our clients that they will not approach directly, and we sign an agreement with our experts that they will not approach that particular team directly. But I would rather say that the kind of experts and the kind of clients we have for now and is what we call as a disintermediation risk is fairly low. Even if it exists, you have to map it within the business model. So for now, we focus only on engagements which are more, or clients who require engagements which are more sporadic and cross domain, so that the incentive to disintermediate is very low, rather than spend our time and effort on legalities around that disintermediation.
Next question is connected. How easy is to maintain experts on the board with you?
So for good experts is actually very easy. The more business you get them, the more the experts are happier because they get more business. They enjoy more with our clients. They enjoy sharing with our clients. So essentially, it boils down to how many engagements or how many quality engagements you can orchestrate for the clients. Having said that,
Uh,
it's an on-demand thing. There are no commitments from either side.
okay. So another, yeah.
There
Do
is.
we have an exclusivity? So it's
Yeah,
related.
I think I read the
Yeah.
next question.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
No,
Yes.
we don't.
Yeah. So what are the influence clients in the global management consultancy, private equity, hedge fund, and mid-tier corporate who are? So
Okay. So I think it's not a good idea to name the client for now.
Sure.
But you can safely assume that we work with pretty much every large consulting firm in the country.
Fair enough. Uh, so I think there is no cost of exclusivity with the experts. Uh, the acquisition. What was the acquisition price of Bloom Ventures Fund One and allotment date?
That's not something I remember off the hand, but they should be available
Ashokji,
in the RHP, very easily available in the RHP.
yeah, yes, yes. Ashokji, if you
10.18.
10.18. Okay. So next question we already covered. Expert. Yeah, this is repeat. I see good. So Gaurav Mehta is asking, I see good ROE, ROCE. Is this sustainable for upcoming years?
Well, I don't think we should be making any forward-looking statements, but I see no reason, as long as we are strict with our capital allocations, I see this thing not to change. We are a very firm believer on sustainable growth.
Okay. So next question is related to revenue streams for the company. Are they diversified and how sustainable they are?
So I'm not sure I understand this question correctly, but
So
if it means that, sorry, if it means that
diver
it is across domains, yes, we're fairly spread out across domains. Revenue
and
stream, we have just one revenue stream from that perspective, that we connect experts. We would
okay,
probably be getting new set of experts or slightly different experts, but we, in the foreseeable future, we intend to operate in the same sector.
sure. Next question we can't take uh, any plans to acquire a scale US or European competitor to fast track market penetration.
Okay. I would say never, but is it planned? I don't think so.
Okay, okay. And I think this is the last question. The potential, can you provide potential growth opportunity under penetrated regions such as Asia and Europe? I think East Europe for the expert network industry.
Asia and Europe, in fact, India is one of the most under-penetrated market. China, Japan, fairly penetrated. There are large export networks, even a listed one. Europe, of course, have got some very large ones. So we would rather go and capture that market than change the level of penetration. In fact, India is the place where we would like to have more penetrations in this industry.
Okay. I think we have covered majority of the question. So I think we can close. So thank you, Gaurav ji, Ashok ji, Varun ji, Abhishek ji, for giving insights about the company and the IPO to the investor community. And I would also like to thank investors who have participated for the IPO roadshow. Thank you. Gaurav ji, over to you, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much, Vastupal. Thank you so much, Hulani ji. Thank you, VK and Abhishek, for joining us on this call. And a, a big thanks to all our potential investors. We look forward to have you. We look forward to have longer term relationships with you. And all our friends and well wishers, thank you so much for believing in us.
Yeah.
Thank you,
So
everybody. Thank you for joining.
thank you.
Thank you. I think we can close this call now.
Yes, we can.